The following segment is brought to you by the Daily Dad. We are so excited to have the Daily Dad back on set. Chase is here to share tips with us to help with healthy, balanced parenting. Chase, we love it when you're in the studio.
I'm so grateful to be here. You guys, parenting is unquestionably challenging. And I have brought with me some tips to try to have some peaceful parenting and to have a little bit, a perspective shift maybe
There we go.
in parenting, because we don't want to feel overwhelmed all the time. Although I think most parents categorically would say they feel overwhelmed.
I think that's fair to say.
And so I think the way that we're going to have a little bit more balance in parenting is by shifting our perspective in how we're approaching parenting. And it's just tips. Everybody can figure out what works best for them. But these are some things that have helped for me. The first, and they're all P.
Okay,
because
all
it's
P
easy
tips.
for me to remember. I'm a guy, so I got to just lower the bar
Love
a little
it.
bit for understanding. So I love a P sort of, the first P is priority. Figure out what makes the sense for you and your family. There's no model way to do parenting. The individual nature of a family dynamic is such that some family could prioritize this, that, and the other. You don't need to prioritize what the Joneses are doing.
Right.
Prioritize what works for you and your family, because every family is so unique and every family is so diverse. So prioritize what works best for you, and don't forget to prioritize yourself.
Oh, I think that's so important because I feel like parents forget that.
They do, and we mistakenly think that if we are so taking care of our child's emotional, physical, spiritual, mental well-being, that we're kind of checking all the boxes off. But if we're not doing the same for ourselves, then we actually aren't doing a great job at providing those for our kids, because we're not modeling that healthy behavior for when they become adults themselves. The second P is to be willing to pivot.
Pivot, okay.
Pivot for a P, you guys. Now listen, I think sometimes we get in a rut and we begin thinking, this is just how we got to do it.
Yep.
We just got to kind of stick with this. It's what you know, the devil you know better than the devil you don't.
Yep.
Be willing to pivot. Kids grow and evolve. They're going to need different things. And so what may have worked when you were, raising younger kids and now into kids into adolescence may not work. And so be willing to pivot, because then you're not going to feel so pressured. You're not going to say, well, why isn't this working anymore? And I want it to be something different. Be willing to just kind of call an audible. And that's a football reference for sports. I did that there just so my mom knows. My mom will be proud. See, pivoting here. So make sure that you're pivoting and be willing to just adjust, constantly adjust. Be willing to make any sort of changes necessary, and then you're not going to feel so heavy.
All right, what's the third P?
The third thing is to party. Because I think parenting sometimes is so overwhelming, and we talk about it with such vigor and such weight and the gravity. We are raising the future generation, but we forget that parenting should be a bit of a party. That we created these kids and we're raising these kids. We need it to be a fun dynamic. And so add that party back in. Have a dance party in the kitchen. Do breakfast for dinner, whatever. Don't take it so seriously. It doesn't take the gravity of parenting away, but it does help relieve some of the anxiety that we have by saying, am I having fun?
Yeah.
And we're not talking the 3 a.m. throw-ups. We're talking just
That's
in
not
general.
a party.
That's not a party, but we're saying you want to be having fun. So we got to make sure you prioritize. You got to make sure you're being willing to pivot. And don't forget to party. And I think you're going to have some peaceful parenting.
I love that, Chase. Those were amazing tips. Remember those 3 Ps. Where can we go for more information?
Yeah, find me on social media on The Daily Dad. And I will look for you guys there. And hopefully we'll all parental party together.
I'm partying now. Thanks so much for being with us, Chase. We've loved having you.
Thank you guys so much. See you guys.